Hello and welcome to the video I've been meaning to make for a long time. Why have I not made it for a long time? Well, it's taken a lot of planning and I've had to tweak it loads. So this is the challenge. Before I start, this is Alex. He's our son. He suffers from muscular dystrophy. It's a muscle wasting condition which already has him at 21, mostly wheelchair bound. What I'm doing is trying to raise £100,000, I know it's a lot, to give directly to Muscular Dystrophy UK, who put their money into the research and development of a cure, which we're hoping will get rolled out once it's been proven to be good. We've been searching for a cure for a long time for this. It seems that there's one on the way, but you know, we need it rolling through. So this is my next challenge in the line of many that I've already had and many more that are to be done in the future. But this one's a big one. First things first, I'm inviting you to join me. If it's on a daily basis, fine. If it's for a couple of hours, fine. But I will add the caveat that you will need to be able to ride at the speed that I'm intending to. I'm intending to be around about 16 mile an hour average. And some of these days are pretty long. But with the amount of training that I'm doing, I should be okay. With that, I can't sort any digs for anyone. I'm sure you'll understand. It's hard enough trying to look after myself, and I've got support from Julia, my wife, who's going to be following me around in a vehicle which I will be sleeping in most nights unless I can find a bed to lay in somewhere, which is again where I'm asking for help for you guys. If you have a drive for us to park on, somewhere where we can get a shower, know of where we can get some food for some shops or takeaways or anything really. Gonna be a calorie fest and a sleep fest, as well as all of the cycling. Additionally to that, posting this route, I'll give you full details of it in a moment. I'm gonna ask if you can look at them on a day-to-day basis for any of you that live in the areas where I'm going through, and see if you can tweak the route slightly. Mainly so it's better. You'll know what's better. I'm trying to keep this as flat as possible and as short as possible, but there are certain points on this route that I have to go through in order for it to count. So the challenge itself, you may or may not know already, I'm cycling through every county in England in 8 days. It's around about 1100 miles. So yeah, it's a distance. We're between 120 and 150 miles a day. So I'm going to be putting screenshots up here, full screen, so you can go. And I'll leave them up there for the duration of each day whilst I'm explaining it, okay? So, day one, we begin in Launceston in Cornwall. And we're heading to Lymington. We're going via Exeter, Axminster, near Dorchester. I think we're going straight through. Then up round the north of Bournemouth to Lymington. It's going to be a bit of a brutal start. It's not too bad hilly wise. It's 6,700 feet, but it's 150 miles. It's a long old first day, so it's going to be really getting into the thighs by the end of that one. Day two have to be split into two because I need to go onto the Isle of Wight. It's going to be an early start. I'm getting up at silly o'clock because I need to get the 6:15 AM ferry from Lymington to Yarmouth. Then it's a really quick sprint across. It's a 17-mile ride straight across to Ryde. After the ferry to Portsmouth, we are going, when we hit Portsmouth, we go east via Chichester, turning north at Arundel. So we can head sort of northeast towards Horsham, Crawley, East Grinstead. Then we again turn north to Farningham, which, if you're not sure of where Farningham is, it's near Swanley. That's 113.5 miles for the second half of the day. I'm kind of discounting the first half. It's only 17 miles. So it's a relatively short day at 130 miles. And there's only 6,500 feet of climbing. Day three, we immediately head north through the Dartford Tunnel, through what I assume can be a separate lane for cycle and foot passengers. Don't know. Let me know, please. Then we hang a left, go west straight through the City of London, before turning northwest up to Watford. Then, as I've said, it's a proper wiggly route, heading generally westwards near Maidenhead, straight through Henley, keep heading westwards north of Wantage, then south of Swindon to Royal Wootton Bassett. Is 139 miles, only 6,000 feet on that day, so it's a relatively gentle day. Day 4. So, Royal Wootton Bassett, we head westwards through Malmesbury, then into Bristol. It's its own county, needs must, before turning north and over the Severn Bridge. That's going to be lovely. To Chepstow through Ross and Wye, going via the east of Hereford to finish in Cleobury Mortimer, if that's how it's pronounced, sorry. That's just east of Kidderminster. 140 miles that day with 8,800 feet of climbing. I'm assuming it's just lots of mini lumps. Is it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. it's the route that's been meticulously planned via Strava and all of the other devices. Day 5 is virtually a straight line, as you'll see. So we start heading eastwards through Stourbridge and then Dudley, somewhere I'm quite familiar with. Then across the north of Birmingham through Bedworth, where bizarrely I've already done a park run many years ago. Hello, Dave. Then to just south of Lutterworth, north of Wellingborough, somewhere else I'm familiar with from my many visits to Santapod. Then to Wilburton, which is pretty close to Ely. It's 138 miles again, 6,000 feet. It's again relatively flat, so it's going to be quite good for the legs, that one. Day 6, by far and away the flattest day. And I don't do flat riding, I'm not a fan. But it's weirdly probably going to be my most mentally challenging day. It's a bit of a circuitous route to start with. We go around Ely, through Lakenheath and Downham Market, then across the north of Peterborough to Stamford, followed by a straight and virtually flat run north past Grantham, and finishing near or in Gainsborough. It's 143 miles, which is similar, but there's just over 2,000 feet of climbing. Was it 2,400 feet of climbing? And most of that's done in sort of one lump. I don't know how bad the lump is, but it can't be bad, can it? Let's be honest. Day 7, it's pretty much Yorkshire Day, isn't it? It's the War of the Roses. Firstly, we've got to head north. We've got to go up through Thorn and then to Pullington, and I think there's a little village called Great Beck near there. Then from there we'll head west to just north of Barnsley. We're going through Holmfirth, southwards down to Padfield, which is near Glossop. We're not going over Snake Pass, thankfully. Before heading west again, what looks like straight through Manchester to St Helens, where I'll turn due north. It's effectively a straight run up to just south of Penrith to Penwortham. The last day should be the glory leg, but with it being, I think, the shortest day at 121 miles, it's got 9,000 feet of climbing, and most of that's done in the last 60 miles. I've done this route already last year when I did a ride for Will Taylor. Great day that was, but going over the Pennines, there's some steep stuff in there. As you know, I do a lot of hill climbing. I'll be practicing again for that when the time comes. Yeah, and unfortunately we're going nowhere near my house this time, or the bakery that's just over there. It's a shame. So we're going to be heading straight north from the start, through Preston, up towards Lancaster, but not quite. We're going to veer off and then heading up some of my favourite roads. We'll go up through Kirby Lonsdale. It's a flat run to there. Up to Sedbergh. Again, it's relatively flat. Tiny bit of lumps here or there. Up to Kirby Stephen, which is a long, gradual climb. It's really nice. Then to Brough, where I'm really going to need a rest. I think that's just over halfway through the day, but it's where it starts getting hilly. So after that break, we'll be, straight up over the Pennines via Stanhope, then to north of Concert, wiggling our way through Gateshead across the Tyne via their ridiculously gorgeous bridges. Then it's a very, very short couple hundred yards through a very busy Newcastle city centre to finish at the Centre for Life, which If you don't know, we got Alex's diagnosis for Becker muscular dystrophy. It's pretty much a centre for genetic research. It's a charity as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. It's extremely close to our hearts, and they are there helping and supporting people like Alex with their conditions. Hopefully I'll have some news of what we're doing after we get to the finish line. I've got emails and stuff to get through at the moment. There's quite a lot of admin involved with this, as you'd be surprised to hear. I'm aiming to get to a certain place I've been to before, which is cycling related and a cafe, and it's got a huge car park out the back if anyone's in a camper van, which we will be. Let me know your thoughts. If you fancy joining me for a day, if you fancy joining me for the lot, if you fancy joining me for an hour or two, you're welcome. It's going to be company that I'm after, probably a little bit of taking of the headwind just to share the load. If you can't, that's fine, that's fine. If not, and you'd like to support in any other way, if you're a company, get in touch. I'd love you to be a partner on this, not necessarily even for cash, for money, but if you've got anything that you can donate, wonderful. If you've got any parts or food, drink, anything, remember I'm plant-based and picky. If you've got anything that you'd like to try and donate that you think will help the cause, please do get in touch. If you work for a company, you think that they might be interested in supporting or being a part of, I am wanting this to get large. So the more people that share this with the rest of the world through their networks, the better, because I'm going to get nowhere near that target of mine if eyes don't see it. So I hope you can join me. It would be great if you could. I won't be publishing obviously a big YouTube video whilst I'm out there, because these things need editing, they take ages, but I'll probably be doing the odd live stream here or there, and I'll be chucking shorts up while I'm on the ride. So you can see where we're at, and you can keep up to date of how we're getting on. I'll probably track it as well. I might try and do a live data every now and again so you can see where I am, if my battery life will hold up. Obviously I'm going to be publishing this all on my Facebook page and Instagram, Twitter, and any other means. So if you could share that when they go live, that would be wonderful. So thanks for watching. You see why the training's begun already. It's 7 months away now. So I'm getting the miles in. I want to get these legs ready for that, and I'm really looking forward to it already. Thank you. See you later.